Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie, and today we are on day 255. Welcome to the channel. I'm so happy that you're here today. We're going to be reading out of 2 Samuel chapter 17, Ezekiel chapter 11, Mark chapter 9, but we're only reading verses 30 through 50 today, and then we're going to close out the day with Psalm 126. So let's hop into 2 Samuel chapter 17. I feel like I am losing my voice again. Sorry, folks, but let's see if we can get through this, okay? All right. So, moreover, Ahithophel said to Absalom, "Let me now choose 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David tonight. I will come on him while he is weary and exhausted, and will make him afraid. All the people who are with him will flee. I will strike the king only, and I will bring back all the people to you. The man whom you seek is as if all returned. All the people shall be in peace." The saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel. Then Absalom said, "Now call Hushai the Archite also, and let's hear likewise what he says." Then Hushai had come to Absalom, and Absalom spoke to him, saying, "Ahithophel has spoken like this. Shall we do what he says? If not, speak up." Hushai said to Absalom, "The counsel that Ahithophel has given this time is not good." Hushai said, moreover, "You know your father and his men, that they are mighty men, and they are fierce in their minds, like a bear robbed of her cubs in the field. Your father is a man of war, and will not lodge with the people. Behold, he is now hidden in some pit, or in some other place. It will happen, when some of them have fallen at the first, that whoever hears it will say, 'There's a slaughter among the people who follow Absalom.' Even he who is valiant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, will utterly melt. For all Israel knows that your father is a mighty man, and those who are with him are valiant men. But I counsel that all Israel be gathered together to you, from Dan even to Beersheba, as the sand that is by the sea for multitude, and that you go to battle in your own person. So we will come on him in some place where he will be found, and we will light on him as the dew falls on the ground. Then we will not leave so much as one of him and all the men who are with him. Moreover, if he has gone into a city, then all Israel will bring ropes to that city, and we will draw it into the river until there isn't one small stone found there." Absalom and all the men of Israel said, "The counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel, for Yahweh had ordained to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel, to the intent that Yahweh might bring evil on Absalom." Then Hushai said to Zadok and to Abiathar the priests, "Ahithophel counseled Absalom and the elders of Israel that way, and I have counseled this way. Now therefore send quickly and tell David, saying, 'Don't lodge tonight at the fords of the wilderness, but by all means pass over, lest the king be swallowed up and all the people who are with him.'" Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz were staying by En-Rogel, and a female servant used to go and report to them. And they went and told King David, for they couldn't risk being seen coming into the city. But a boy saw them and told Absalom. Then they both went away quickly and came to the house of a man in Behurim, who had a well in his court, and they went down there. The woman took and spread the covering over the well's mouth and spread out crushed grain on it, and nothing was known. Absalom's servants came to the woman to the house, and they said, "Where are Ahimaaz and Jonathan?" The woman said to them, "They have gone over the brook of the water." When they had sought and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. After they had departed, they came up out of the well and went and told King David. And they said to David, "Arise and pass quickly over the water, for thus has Ahithophel counseled against you." Then David arose, and all the people who were with him, and they passed over the Jordan. By the morning light there lacked not one of them who had not gone over the Jordan. Then Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed. He saddled his donkey, arose, and went home to his city, set his house in order, and hanged himself. And he died, and was buried in the tomb of his father. Then David came to Mahanaim. Absalom passed over the Jordan, he and all the men of Israel with him. Absalom set Amasa over the army instead of Joab. Now Amasa was the son of a man whose name was Ithra, the Israelite, who went in to Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister to Zeruiah, Joab's mother. Israel and Absalom encamped in the land of Gilead. When David had come to Mahanaim, Shobi, the son of Nahash, of Rabbah, of the children of Ammon, and Machir, the son of Amiel, of Lodabar, and Barzillai, the Gileadite of Rogelim. Anyways, they brought beds, basins, earthen vessels, wheat, barley, meal, parched grain, beans, lentils, roasted grain, honey, butter, sheep, and cheese of the herd for David and the people who were with him to eat. For they said, "The people are hungry, weary, and thirsty in the wilderness." Wow, to be a fly in the wilderness in those days, just to observe all the interaction and conspiracies and deceptions, and then those who are loyal, be interesting to watch. All right, so Ezekiel chapter 11. Moreover, the Spirit lifted me up and brought me to the east gate of Yahweh's house, which looks eastward. Behold, 25 men were at the door of the gate, and I saw among them Jezaniah, the son of Azor, and Pelatiah, the son of Benaniah, princes of the people. He said to me, "Son of man, these are the men who devise iniquity, and who give wicked counsel in this city, who say, the time is not near to build houses. This is the cauldron, and we are the meat. Therefore prophesy against them. Prophesy, Son of man." Yahweh's Spirit fell on me, and he said to me, "Speak. Yahweh says, Thus you have said, house of Israel, for I know the things that come into your mind. You have multiplied your slain in this city, and you have filled its streets with the slain. Therefore the Lord Yahweh says, your slain whom you have laid in the middle of it, they are the meat, and this is the cauldron. But you will be brought out of the middle of it. You have feared the sword, and I will bring the sword on you, says the Lord Yahweh. I will bring you out of the middle of it, and deliver you into the hands of strangers, and will execute judgments on you. You will fall by the sword, and I will judge you in the border of Israel. Then you will know that I am Yahweh. This will not be your cauldron, neither will you be the meat in the middle of it. I will judge you in the border of Israel. You will know that I am Yahweh, for you have not walked in my statutes. You have not executed my ordinances, but have done after the ordinances of the nations that are around you. When I prophesied, Pelatiah the son of Benaiah died. Then I fell down on my face and cried with a loud voice and said, O Lord Yahweh, will you make full end of the remnant of Israel? And Yahweh's word came to me, saying, Son of man, your brothers, even your brothers, the men of your relatives, and all the houses of Israel, all of them, are the ones to whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Go far away from Yahweh. This land has been given to us for a possession. Therefore say, the Lord Yahweh says, Whereas I have removed them far off among the nations, and whereas I have scattered them among the countries, yet I will be to them a sanctuary for a little while in the countries where they have come. Therefore say, the Lord Yahweh says, I will gather you from the peoples and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. They will come there, and they will take away all its detestable things and all its abominations from there. I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within them. I will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and will give them a heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes and keep my ordinances and do them. They will be my people, and I will be their God. But as for them whose heart walks after the heart of their detestable things and their abominations, I will bring their way on their own heads, says the Lord Yahweh. Then the cherubim lifted up their wings, and the wheels were beside them. The glory of the God of Israel was over them above. And Yahweh's glory went up from the middle of the city and stood on the mountain which is on the east side of the city. The Spirit lifted me up and brought me in the vision by the Spirit of God into Chaldea, to the captives. So the vision that I had seen went up from me. Then I spoke to the captives all the things that Yahweh had shown me. Wow. So this part, have you ever known people who have changed their ways? I guess it's not a new thing, huh? I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within them. I will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and will give them a heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes and keep my ordinances and do them. They will be my people, and I will be their God. I have a neighbor who, oh man, I've been a neighbor with him for years and years. And I would say the first 2/3 of those years, he was really difficult to get along with. He didn't play well socially. Let's say he was always very agitated, very annoyed, and very gruff. But so this might be a little literal, but he did end up having heart surgery. And I'm telling you, he is the kindest, sweetest man that I have known. Completely changed him. So anyway, that's a little literal, but I have seen it happen where God can do that. He can change people's hearts. Okay, let's move into Mark chapter 9, verses 30 through 50. All right, so when he had come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, we read this yesterday, I'll just continue, Why couldn't we cast it out? And he said to them, this kind can come out by nothing but by prayer and fasting. So they went out from there and passed through Galilee. He didn't want anyone to know it, for he was teaching his disciples and said to them, the Son of Man is being handed over to the hands of men, and they will kill him. And when he is killed, on the third day, he will rise again. But they didn't understand the saying and were afraid to ask him. He came to Capernaum, and when he was in the house, he asked them, what are you arguing among yourselves on the way? But they were silent, for they had disputed with one another on the way about who was the greatest. He sat down and called the 12, and he said to them, if any man wants to be first, he shall be last of all, and servants of all. He took a little child and set him in the middle of them, and taking him in his arms, he said to them, whoever receives one such little child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me doesn't receive me, but him who sent me. John said to him, teacher, we saw someone who doesn't follow us casting out demons in your name, and we forbade him because he doesn't follow us. But Jesus said, don't forbid him, for there is no one who will do a mighty work in my name and be able quickly to speak evil of me. For whoever is not against us is on our side. For whoever will give you a cup of water to drink in my name because you are Christ, most certainly I tell you, he will in no way lose his reward. Whoever will cause one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better for him if he were thrown into the sea with a millstone hung around his neck. If your hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. It is better for you to enter into life maimed rather than having your two hands to go into Gehenna, into the unquenchable fire, where the worm doesn't die and the fire is not quenched. If your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off. It is better for you to enter into life lame rather than having your 2 feet to be cast into Gehenna, into the fire that will never be quenched, where the worm doesn't die and the fire is not quenched. If your eye causes you to stumble, throw it out. It is better for you to enter into God's kingdom with one eye rather than having 2 eyes to be cast into the Gehenna fire, where the worm doesn't die and the fire is not quenched. For everyone will be salted with fire, and every sacrifice will be seasoned with salt. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its saltiness, with what will you season it? Have salt in yourselves, and be at peace with one another. So there is a lot of parable and riddle in there. I do believe back in the day, and maybe in some countries, even in current times, they are taking that to a literal practice. But I think, Jesus was simply speaking in another riddle again. I truly cannot believe he would have us cut off our body parts if it's causing us trouble. I think the vocabulary was used for effect, for, it's pretty dramatic to have to cut off your own hand or gouge out your own eye. He didn't want any misunderstanding. So if there is trouble in your life, for example, this is a pretty worldwide issue, is alcoholism. I have wine in the house. If I could not control myself, I would not keep wine in the house. I would gouge it out, per se, instead of trying to be social and, keep up with my friends and sitting with them and socializing. What's another one? That's pretty surface. Is there another one deeper than that? Maybe if there's a really good friend, which I have had very good friends, that they just went down a path that I was not comfortable with. It was going to be really hard for me to stay in relationship with God and also stay in relationship with this friend that is doing things that is opposite from what God would have me do. And so I interpret that as basically cutting off my hand. I was very good friends with them. So we make choices to stay in relationship with God. And it's better to stay in relationship with God than to live life on earth with these problems. And then when we get to heaven, we have to answer for it. I think that's where it's going. Okay, Psalm 126. Oh, I've got a highlight in here. See? There we go. This is another song of ascents. When Yahweh brought back those who returned to Zion, we were like those who dream. Then our mouth was filled with laughter, and our tongue was singing. Then they said among the nations, Yahweh has done great things for them. Yahweh has done great things for us, and we are glad. Restore our fortunes again, Yahweh, like the streams in the Negev. Those who sow in tears will reap joy. He who goes out weeping, carrying seed for sowing, will certainly come again with joy, carrying his sheaves. Oh, that is so hopeful. I love that. Wow, what a great day. And my voice didn't leave me. Yay! Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you just have the most wonderful day today. Come on back for tomorrow, which is going to be day 256. And I will see you then. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.